For the years, Lionel has catered most major Black events in Los Angeles, including all of our KBLA Talk 1580 gatherings. But now he has his own spot, Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine, and you need to check it out at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. Oxtails, baked or fried chicken, meatloaf, turkey chops, pork chops, catfish, short ribs, and all the fixins. Collard greens, mac and cheese, yams, red beans, black-eyed peas, and more. And of course, hot water cornbread, satisfying drinks, and delicious desserts. Lionel's is a great place for brunch, lunch, or dinner. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you, because we've got your black. So, head on over to Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles and tell Lionel you heard about it on KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to the Most High, asking for blessings, and asking for the blessings of God Almighty, the ancestors, the elders. And let's go. Let's go. Is it? Could it be Thursday? It seems like it's Thursday all day today. This is how we do things on a Thursday around here. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast. Right now, it seems like the whole nation is looking to the left coast because of the anti-ICE protest demonstrations that are happening in our city. In hour two, we look national, international, and beyond. In the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic with a person or persons of interest. Man, we have got a lot going on around here today, as usual. Looking forward to talking with Shawnee Jackson, a.k.a. Mama YG, about her charitable works as the leader of her son's foundation. Her son, YG, they do a lot of incredible work in the community, and looking forward to that convo. Attorney Jaye Person Lynn is always fun to talk to. He'll be here in the second hour. In case you are confused about what's happening with, I don't know, the Constitution, your rights, or any other legal matters, 800-920-1580. You know it. I know it. That's the number. And you're invited in because this hour right now, it's me, you, Miles, and the microphone, telephone, whatever you got going on. Your satellite dish, however you're communicating with me. I always love when you hit me up on socials. It's KBLA, like black without the C and the K. On everything, KBLA 1580, you can find our socials. And man, our YouTube has been growing. All of our social media is growing. So thank you for telling a friend. And thank you for hitting like or speaking your like or dislike in the comments. Of course, we're streaming right now on YouTube, youtube.com/KBLA1580. And our following is growing, and we appreciate you for that. over on the DiPrima Radio YouTube, it's a little more lonely. I would love for you guys to come over there and hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'm DIPRIMA Radio on most socials. My Instagram remains a battleground, thanks to Jay French and the conversation about race. Woo! It is going down. It is going down in the comments, okay? So you might want to, if you need a little more stimulation in your life, you might want to dip in over there. And as usual, you are always invited over here at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So I went to the organizing meeting. It was an emergency meeting by Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, talking about the response to protests, not the debate, because we can do that here or anywhere, about whether or not this is an issue that Black people should be concerned about. I'm pretty sure you know where I am on that, but I invite you to weigh in. But more about how to take care of yourself if you are going to protest, how to make sure that you are safe and that you are doing the things that are in your best interest. First of all, don't go alone. Aloe Black wrote a song called Don't Go Alone. And I think it's on his new album. It's really nice, actually. But I think we should make that the theme song for protests. And I'm talking to me right now because a lot of times I'm just wanting to roll. I don't want to wait for nobody. It's spur of the moment. Let's go. But especially right now, it's not a good idea to go to a protest by yourself, because with ICE literally kidnapping people off the streets, if you're by yourself and nobody knows you, how are we going to know you got snatched up by ICE and go look for you? And you could say to yourself, well, I'm a citizen, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, my brother was also a citizen, is a citizen. We are Black Americans, been in this country. We can trace back to our great-great-grandma who was enslaved, and that ICE didn't care about that. They snatched him up. Of course, everyone saw it. It was a huge crowd there. He also happens to be the mayor of the city. But if you're not the mayor, I'm not the mayor, Miles not the mayor, and we just out at a protest by ourselves and someone snatches us, don't roll your eyes. You could be Haitian, or they might just feel like snatching you for some reason. Anyway, it's better to use what BLMLA calls the buddy system. Bring a buddy. Have a buddy that you can check in with. If you can't get anyone to go with you, at least have someone that you're checking in with, and that you say, hey, if you don't hear from me by 1 p.m. or whatever, come looking for me. Because that's a scary thing, actually. I've been thinking about that because of the way they're snatching up people with green cards, people with visas, people who are citizens, and even folks who are undocumented or in some weird phase of getting their papers, right? You could have come seeking asylum and be following all the rules, and then they just decide to take away your protected status, or your case is dismissed, and boom, snatch you up. So I've been thinking about that. What happens if they snatch you and no one knows you're gone? They don't know where you went. You're sitting there in some lockup somewhere, and it might not be LA. It might not be Paramount. They could send you to Texas. I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm just trying to give us a good argument for why we let someone know where we're going, and hopefully we don't go by ourselves. And you always want to have a meeting place in case you get separated from whoever you came to that protest with, that you know how to find each other. You have a spot. Okay, we got separated. We meet here. And they suggest that you deactivate your phone's facial recognition or fingerprint unlocking feature. And I've heard that from more than just Black Lives Matter LA. I've heard it from security experts and some lawyers. Because if you have your face recognition or your thumbprint unlocking and you're taken into custody, your phone can be unlocked against your will. And that's not great. You might not, if you've got a bunch of protest pictures and things on there, you might not want it to be unlocked. It can still be unlocked in certain circumstances, but why make it easy, right? Why make it easy? So I think those are really, really important things. And when you go to a protest, you just don't skip in there like Forrest Gump. You want to look around. Where are the exits? What is what they call a threat assessment? How safe is this? How can I make sure that me and my friends and my colleagues have an exit plan, a meetup place, that we're mindful about what we're doing? Know where the exits are. In case you need to leave, it gets crazy, it gets dangerous for some reason. You want to plan that before then, because people are going to be panicking and it gets, it can get a little hectic. So you want to make sure that you have a plan. So, the protests, for the most part, the protests are very joyous, of people singing, holding signs. It's not at all what's been portrayed on CNN. The city is not burning. The places where there are protests are very small parts of a very large county. But I'm just saying this because the weekend's coming up. There's a big, big protest planned for Saturday, I know. And many weekend warriors will show up who might not go all the time. You don't want to just be, la, 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 like that Forrest Gump vibe. You want to keep your eyes and ears open. What is law enforcement doing? What are so-called counter-protesters, who are usually white supremacists, what are they doing? You want to be aware. You want to use all 5 of your senses, have situational awareness. You might want to wear a mask because they got some nasty new strains of COVID going around. And then just some regular cootie strains. Or if you're like me, I like to be kind of on the outskirts of the crowd where the air is fresher. I just don't want to get sick, says the girl who got COVID at the Democratic National Convention. If I didn't learn my lesson then, I deserve what I get, right? 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And of course, you want to take care of the people around you. You want to do what you can to keep each other safe. If someone's getting detained or beat up or whatever, it's a good idea to film it if you can do so safely. Take pictures. And if that person is by themselves and they're taken into custody by ICE, if you have the capacity to post it, that's good, because maybe their family or friends are wondering where they are. Really good information. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to call me. And I would love, love, love to talk to you. A lot of stuff to unpack. And we'll do it together. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat.
On Saturday, June 21st, there are two big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DiPrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
Love you. Love you.
If you need up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com is the name you can trust. It's free to use, available 24/7, and you are never required to accept any loan offer. Some lenders offer same-day funding. If you need up to $3,000, type WeFixMoney.com directly into your browser. WeFixMoney.com has been helping customers for 15 years and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. So, if you need cash for credit card bills, car repairs, child care, or anything else, go to WeFixMoney.com. Make sure you type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. Go to the company you trust, WeFixMoney.com. Just fill in the information and get an answer in minutes at WeFixMoney.com. For up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station,
And your favorite morning show host.
Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
If you're trying to get your car washed for the weekend, I suggest you hurry up and do so. Apparently, the ICE folks are now targeting car washes. At least 5 of them in LA and Orange County were the subject of immigration raids over the past couple days. This is according to an organization called Clean, which is an advocacy nonprofit for car wash workers. Tuesday, they raided the fields in Oxnard. They were chasing farm workers. ICE agents were chasing farm workers who were trying to pick your food and my food. So if you find some empty grocery store shelves or some even higher prices, you know why. Apparently, this is in Oxnard. There's a lot of strawberry people that pick strawberries, avocados, and celery. Ching, ching, ka-ching, ching, ching. That's the sound of your prices going up. We had a curfew again last night. It lifted at 6. I know some people are angry at the mayor about that. I just don't agree. What is she supposed to do? If she sits there and does nothing, the Trump administration is going to target her even more than they already have over the fires, target our city even more than they already have. She is a black woman mayor. We see what they have done with my brother. We see what they have done with the mayor of Chicago, even the erstwhile Republican mayor of New York. Yeah, I'm not saying that she should be targeting activists, not saying that at all. But the city has got to take some measures to say, look, we've got this. We do have this. It's not out of control. It's never been out of control. Why are you wasting money on the National Guard, on Marines? Why are you wasting resources, which we may need for something more important at a time when we, the city of LA, have a budget crunch, the nation has a budget crunch, et cetera, et cetera. That means that after 8 o'clock, you need to go home. And it doesn't mean you can't protest during the day. I know it's not ideal, but I feel like we've got to do something. This constant narrative of, the Democrats, the Democrats don't want to do anything. They just want to let cities get torn up. I love the governor's clap back to Sarah Huckabee out of Arkansas saying, LA's dangerous, LA's burning, and the governor clapped back saying, your homicide rate is literally double ours. So mind your business. Which is true. We have very low homicide rates. Our city is relatively very safe for a big city. But it doesn't stop the relentless talking points, the relentless lies about our leadership and our city. So we went to day 2 of a curfew. And the mayor has to walk a fine line. And I said this before, based on her interview on this station on Sunday. She's trying to make sure that we get the rest of our money for the Palisades and Eaton, Altadena, rebuilding, whatever funds need to come through FEMA. She knows how petty the president is. Our mayor has worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger when she was the leader of the state legislature here, worked with a petulant Republican back then, a moody Terminator governor. And she worked in Washington during the first Trump administration during an obstructionist do-nothing Congress. So she is very experienced at threading the needle, pushing back and protecting the citizens of our city, but still keeping the door open so we can get our money back. Because as Assemblymember Isaac Bryan pointed out on this show, and as the governor of the state has pointed out on socials, we pay about $80 billion more every year than we get back from the feds. And so we're really trying to get some of our money back so we can rebuild after the fires. Some of our money back to balance our budget. And in order to, we're already on the enemies list, but in order to try to avoid going further up the enemies list, she's trying to do a dance and walk a line. And that's her job. Her job is not to be agitator-in-chief. That's my job. That's your job. That's 800-920-1580 if you agree, disagree, or have some insight. I learned so much from the KBLA delegation. Let's go to Fred calling us from the Crenshaw district. Jambo, hola, buenos dias. What's up?
Yo, Gumbo. Yo, hi, sister. How you doing? I've been trying to reach you. Your boss told me I've been tired with guests, and sometimes I try to get on, and there seems to be something wrong with the phone. Well, those things happen. 2 things I'd like to mention now about the immigration rates. I'm for people protesting, but you can't go and destroy businesses, and that's when the district attorney comes in. And so I've been going downtown to do some legal work at the law library, and I'm glad they're going to reopen the law library today. And my thing is that I think a lot of this would not have happened if all of us had gone behind our girl Kamala Harris for president.
Of course it wouldn't. Yeah.
And see, Trump said a lot of stuff he gonna do. I guess a lot of people did not believe him. Look at the mess we're in. And now in the Metropolitan newspaper, both Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris are mum as to their political future, as to what they want to do. I think that Kamala Harris should come out right now and rather wait till October 28th. She missed 2 important town hall meetings. We'd have 7 of the candidates run for governor have a town hall.
I hear you, Fred, but if she gets in the race, she sucks up all the air in the room. I don't think it's going to matter one bit that she missed those town hall meetings, because at this point she has a bigger name ID than anyone that's in the race by a mile. I personally think she is going to run.
Run for governor.
I think she is, yeah. Because why would, I know she loves Compton, but she's down there at Compton, appearing at graduations. That's campaign trail stuff to me. Going to the State of the People event, that to me has "I'm running for governor" written all over it. What do you think?
Yeah. You brought some good points, and then the other thing, I think the Democrats got to try to get some people lined up to run for president. Now, Newsom has already said he's not for reparations, so he should even consider trying to run for 2028. Who would you like to see be on the Democrat ticket for 2028? That's not too far along down the road, but I think you got to start.
I'll see
early,
Cornel West
right?
and Dr. Melina Abdullah. Who would I like to see?
We'll see
how
that goes.
Okay. I've heard rumblings about AOC. I doubt it. I'd vote for her, though. I'd like to see true progressives on the Dem ticket. I'm not holding my breath because I'd die of oxygen deprivation. But if you're asking me, Summer Lee and AOC, I don't know.
Okay, because you got to raise a lot of money. I know you got a lot of calls lined up. I'd like to leave you with the word. Well, this Sunday is Father's Day. I'd like to do a shout out for all the fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, and so we all will be on center stage on Sunday. Have a lady friend of mine that's going to be cooking dinner for me. I'm going to bring over a pie from Ralph's, and then I guess there's a possibility that Ralph's might go on strike. You hear about this?
Yeah, boy, Fred, you're on a tear today. Yeah, happy Father's Day to you. Lady friend. That's code for somebody I'm dating, I think. But happy Father's Day, Fred. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't want to neglect the papas, the dads, because there's so much in the news cycle. And, me and Judge Maybelline. Judge Maybelline is the one that always reminds me. We got to give love to the dads, the stepdads, the dads at large, community dads, the long-term married dads. Shout out to all the papas. And I think it's easier for me to forget since mine is with the ancestors. But we do appreciate you, papas. Okay, we only got a minute here until news, traffic, and sports. So I'll start with Daryl from L.A. But Daryl, you probably might have to hold out to the other side to finish your point. Good morning.
No problem with me, dear. I just had a few key points. And to circle back to what you guys are just talking about, why can't the Democrats learn from the Republicans? Why isn't...
You mean we need to learn to be liars? with no moral compass?
Just shape the reality.
In other words, lie?
No. I think you missed my point.
Okay.
Why isn't Kamala at the top of the ticket? She annihilated Trump. Trump annihilates Biden, and they prop him up. We don't prop up Kamala. She covered a lot of ground in 100 days.
Yeah, she did. She definitely did. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then you can make your other points. Be like Daryl. Call me at 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is the place to talk. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. San Jose, California's mayor is pushing a new policy allowing the arrest of homeless people who refuse shelter 3 times. Homeless advocate Sean Cartwright says the plan is ineffective.
The responsibility is really on them to understand the needs of unhoused people, and they don't.
Critics also call it inhumane, while Mayor Matt Mahan says it's a last resort to connect people with help. A 6-year-old black boy in Orange, New Jersey suffered second-degree burns after drinking scalding water at school. Idris Ikize's mother says a plumbing error at Lincoln Avenue School caused hot water to flow from a gym fountain. He's now recovering. And Snoop Dogg says he wants to bring a pop-up burger van to Celtic Park in Glasgow, Scotland. The rapper told the Sunday Mail he'll serve the burgers himself and hinted at teaming up with Scottish chef Gordon Ramsay for a future restaurant. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Is this the tiger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a good day for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers got a 5-2 win in San Diego. The Dodgers are back in action Friday night at home against San Francisco. The Angels beat Oakland 6-5 to complete a 3-game sweep. Third straight win for the Angels and their 7th straight win over Oakland. The Angels start a 7-game road trip Friday night in Baltimore. The Indiana Pacers are up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 116-107. A game-high 27 points off the bench for Pacers backup guard Benedict Mathurin. The Pacers bench outscored OKC's bench 49-18. Game 4 is Friday night in Indianapolis. Florida A&M Athletic Director Angela Suggs was placed on administrative leave with pay. Suggs is facing felony charges for allegedly running up $24,000 in personal charges on a company credit card at a previous job. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kumlager Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other black influencers in the climate and health fields as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
Are you ready to play? Then jump into the LA 84 Foundation's free Playday Block Party, a community celebration for all ages, including live music, dancing, LA's pro sports teams, great local food trucks, plus special giveaways for you to take home. Enjoy an exciting, fun-filled day for the entire family. Join on Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 2141 West Adams Boulevard. To register, go to la84.org. We'll see you Saturday, June 28th at LA 84 Foundation's free Playday Block Party.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, it feels like so much is going on in the world, and trying to keep up with it. I don't want to let the morning go by without sending some love out to Ananda Lewis, her friends, her family, her fans. The MTV superstar passed away from cancer at the age of 52. She was one of the original VJs, and she was the host of TRL and Hot Zone Teen Summit back in the day. She died yesterday in LA. So rest in peace to Ananda Lewis. I did not know her. I actually interviewed her once. She seemed like a very kind person and certainly a beautiful woman. So rest in peace to her. Daryl was talking about Dems. Dems need to be more like Republicans. I'll learn from the GOP. Well, maybe we'll have a little chance to see that today. 7 members of the committee that are going to be questioning Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are Democrats, are California Dems. And it's going to be very interesting to see what they have to say. But Daryl, you had a couple more points you wanted to make.
Well, yeah, and my condolences to the family for Ananda too. I thought she was a beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
But to circle back to what I misspoke when I said that the Republicans shape the reality. What they do is they shape the narrative. That's what they do. So there's nothing Trump can do wrong, because they're going to say it's right. Just like Pete Hegseth. You can click. Ray Charles can see how incompetent this guy is.
Yeah.
All the people he put on his cabinet, his total cabinet is Fox News. They're all actors. And that Pam Bondi, come on, man, really? You gonna wear a freaking $50,000 watch down there in front of all of them? Okay.
Well, to me, she'll always be the girl who let Trump off the hook for the Trump University scam. And in addition, and in response, she got, I think, $10,000 for her campaign or something to be state attorney general.
That's the thing. That's the trade-off. He is paid to play with this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop saying Trump. I'm gonna say the Republicans because they all complicit.
That's right.
And then the Republicans, when he get out of office, the Republicans gonna say, "Yeah, that was Trump. We the Republicans." No, you're complicit with him, so all of y'all are the same people. You don't get to say that you wasn't a part of Trump or Trump wasn't a part of you.
Yep.
Yeah, he leading the party, but you all complicit with the crap he's doing. He's taken over all 3 branches of government, and you guys left the conservative. And you gonna spend $50 million, $1 billion on a freaking parade? What about all this Doge conservative stuff? Oh God. I really get you really get your pressure up thinking about how incompetent this damn president is, and you going to talk about Joe? But what they really, the Dems really need to push up. They need to prop Kamala up. I don't know why.
Do you think he's incompetent? Do you think he's incompetent? Because I don't know. I mean, he's a liar. But they're getting a lot done. I mean, look at how quickly, I guess it's easier to break than to build. They're smashing stuff up like it was a thing. And they're enacting Project 2025 with the kind of efficiency that I would like Dems to learn from Republicans. How to enact your agenda quickly and ruthlessly.
I don't think you get to do that because, number one, unless you're Trump, you're not going to go against the guy. That's like Barack Obama, but deporting more people than anybody else. He did it the right way. He's not going to go against the Constitution. And it's really not Trump. He's just a puppet. The Heritage Foundation has got this guy, they propping him up, and he's just an actor.
Yeah. And a bad one at that. Well, thank you for your call, Daryl. I think there are lessons we can learn, but for me, the biggest thing that I see, if I was the consultant to the Democratic Party, which I'm probably the opposite of that because they hear what I say and run, but I think that the biggest thing they need to do is stop trying to be Republicans. Maybe be decisive, maybe, to your point, do a better job of controlling the narrative. To my point, get more stuff done, but also without breaking the law or constantly lying. But for me, it's the Republican light trap that always gets us. Stop trying to be Liz Cheney. She's not the president of anything. And as far as propping Kamala Harris up, yes, I think they should have done that. I do believe Biden should have got out, never should have run, should have handed the baton to Kamala Harris or had a convention or whatever they decided to do. But for 2028, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think 2028 is going to be a Democratic Party free-for-all. I don't think they're going to back Kamala Harris. I think they're going to try to fight back with somebody different. I doubt we will have a black nominee in 2028. I doubt we will have a California nominee in 2028. Sadly, I don't think we're going to have a progressive in 2028. I think they're going to go moderate, centrist, white or brown. That's what I think. But we shall see, Daryl. We shall see. There's a hearing today before a U.S. district judge in San Francisco to hear arguments about whether the Trump administration has a right to federalize the National Guard and send the U.S. Marines here to L.A. The state asked the court for a temporary restraining order to block those deployments on Tuesday. Today there'll be a hearing. So a lot moving. And again, I'm happy to see the pushback, and I know it's a delicate dance. At the moment, the governor doesn't really seem to be doing a delicate dance. He's just like in your face, DJT. He's channeling YG right now. F Donald Trump. Paul from LA, you have the mic. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Just stopping at the bit. I have to call in. I want to start the conversation with a lot of people and what they're seeing on TV that's happening overall, and just the very broad issue of immigration.
Okay. We're trying to get our technical difficulties together here to hear Paul. And he brought up immigration, which one of the main points, speaking of talking points, a talking point Thursday is that nobody...
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah. Let me just finish the sentence. Nobody has, Democrat or Republican or Green Party, has even made an attempt to fix the system. Go ahead, Paul. You teed up immigration.
You knew where I was going. Okay, so basically, everybody, the last 40 years of this country, going back to when Reagan was in office, this country has had and I'm going to get into why that happened, has had a sign up to people from asylum seekers, immigrants, people from other countries that we will take you here. Why did that happen? Reagan was a governor of the state of California before he became president, which means he was in cahoots with who? The same very people that are standing behind Donald Trump. It's always been about cheap labor. It's always been about cheap labor. So while everybody is punching down and attacking each other, the people that are really that are really causing this are the people that are standing right behind Donald Trump and that are his donors.
Okay, so riddle me this, Paul. How is it that I agree with you? It's about cheap labor. So why are you chasing workers out of the fields, arresting workers at car washes, hitting up the Home Depot at a time when everybody's going to need workers to rebuild Palisades? I mean, and look, I stand on the human rights piece. I'm not just saying transactionally we need migrant workers, so don't harass them. No, they're people. They're human beings with families. But to your point about cheap labor, what are you doing? Because you're chasing folks. The fields, according to LA Times, are eerily quiet today. So what does that mean? We're not going to have no strawberries? Like, make it make sense.
So we've had the conversation. What we're dealing with now in real time is 70% of the electorate is white. Of the 70%, 60% are uneducated. The man said, "I am your retribution," right? Your anger, your despair, you're losing your country overall. So when he speaks towards that, he is losing on every single poll. He is dropping. His numbers are dropping, but one area. And what area do you think that is? Immigration. You know why? Because I've seen numbers as low as 54%. I've seen numbers over 60%. Because more people need to recognize that people actually want this, as sad as it sounds. That's a moral issue.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, but I think they're being really stupid. Yes, he's leaning into an area where he's popular, where he polls well, particularly with people that don't read and they haven't realistically assessed the situation. The economic damage that California is suffering and will continue to suffer, the financial impacts of these raids, aside from just costing money, the way that it disrupts schools and courts and the economy, the supply chain, is not going to look good for Donald Trump. And even people who are supporting this and the people who are arguing that this is not a black people's issue and we should stand down, I don't think they're really thinking about how their groceries are going to cost more. It's going to be more expensive to do anything and slower to do anything, not just in LA. That's why I'm glad to see so many other cities getting in on this. New York, Chicago, Charlotte, the protests, Boston, San Francisco, they're spreading all across the country. And it's not just people wiling out. It's people responding to an invasion, an attack by the feds at the behest of the Republican Party and its current leader, DJT.
Yeah, I would say, Dominique, two things. First thing first. Remember, the reason, for example, a Newsom, and this is why I don't like him, I don't trust him, because especially how he backstabbed Barbara Lee, and then how he did the reparations movement in the state of California. The reason Newsom came out is because, like you said, the economy, right? So who owns those farmland? Who works those businesses, everything that those workers work at? His donors. His phone blew up because his donors were on his head about that. That's when he spoke up.
So you don't think, you think that...
No, not him.
Because I feel like whether or not he cares about the kids that he's talking about, I do think that he also knows that public opinion polls have shown that people think he's more interested in being president than being governor, and that the voters, the Democratic voters of California, are many of the ones that are protesting or backing the protesters. So I also think he's reading the room.
Yes, he's the epitome of a politician. I would say that remember when the previous caller spoke towards messaging, right? All they run on, they don't offer anything. All they run on is just hatred, despair, and anger towards people, right? And the reason they do that is because, for example, like the trans issue. When I come across like my bros in the barbershop or in the streets in the community, and I have these conversations with them, the first thing I say is, okay, what's the percentage of trans people that you believe in this country? They never know the number, right? And I say, do you know it's less than 1%? And then I say, how many of those trans athletes in high school sports do you believe there is? They don't know the number, right? It's only 10, Dominique. It's 10. So when you say this to people, it's literally the message that they control, and how, for example, even the protest in that small area of California in Los Angeles, how their media grabs certain images and replays it over and over and over again. Fox News is on. Fox News is in every gym. Fox News is in every airport. Fox News is in every TV, and most definitely for the boomer generation, that's where they get their news. They control the messaging.
Yeah. Well, and it is the smash and grab media. You get a couple smash and grabs, you play them over and over again, and voila, you get Nathan Hochman as your DA. I think that is what is happening on a national level as well. And that's why Daryl had a good point about controlling the narrative. But we start with ourselves, and I think, I don't know if you want to stay with me, but I think for people like you who are voracious readers and try to stay on top of stuff, and people like me for whom it's my job, we have to be able to change the narrative and tell people the truth, but also stay hopeful and not get bogged down in fear. Because I could hear it in Daryl's voice. He was overwhelmed by all of these news stories and all the 12 kinds of crazy that's coming out of Washington. But remembering how when you look at the long view, we win. when you look at our resilience, our creativity, our ability to find workarounds, work-throughs, and to be the moral leadership of the planet, all of those things come into play now, but only if we do not give in to the epidemic of fear. We'll keep this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Every mother deserves a healthy and joyous pregnancy and birth, and every baby deserves to thrive. That's why the Los Angeles County Abundant Birth Project is here. The Abundant Birth Project is a guaranteed income program that provides cash during pregnancy to pregnant individuals at the highest risk of preterm and low birth rate babies. Although program enrollment has closed, our commitment to Black joy and thriving continues. Through tailored services that foster mental well-being and community-based resources, we provide care and support during pregnancy and after the baby is born to help build brighter futures for our families. Join us in celebrating abundant births in LA County. For more information, please visit abundantbirthproject.org. abundantbirthproject.org. Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Appreciate you always. 800-920-1580. That's the number to call. Paul started out talking about immigration, and we circled around a few topics, including you don't trust Governor Gavin Newsom, and I'm laughing to myself because my mom always said that she never trusted him. She was a San Francisco resident, actually poet laureate of San Francisco, and when he was mayor of that city. I know that Governor Gavin Newsom can be quite effective, and I feel like he's being effective right now. That said, we've seen the tacking to the right that was happening prior to this, to your point about Barbara Lee. So I guess what do we do, though? He's the governor. He's going to be the leader of this state until the election next year. So, I mean, what do? You don't, if you don't trust him, don't elect him president, I guess.
I hopefully through the primary people can see through it, because I can point to it directly to that's the guy that did the executive order right after the Supreme Court decision about basically the states can make the decision whether a homeless person should be imprisoned, and then he did that executive order right after it. I don't forget those. See, I pay attention to what you do, not what you say.
But okay, and Paul, but you're someone who's very saturated in everything as far as information, and you have a good memory, like you said. That was a really important point. He's been pushing for the anti-camping laws and stuff. How do you stay positive? How do you stay away from the fear mongering?
Yeah, Dominique, this is what I was saying. You spoke to Kamala earlier, right? She accomplished a lot within 100 days. But let's not forget, there's this belief that a lot of the hit pieces and everything were coming from Republicans. See, what the Democratic Party doesn't let people know is the elitists in the party they never wanted Kamala. They wanted Biden to pick Gretchen Whitmer. And some of those hit pieces were coming from them overall. So in reality, they can never get any traction as long as Kamala is on the ticket. So they really want to push her to run for governor of the state of California. You know, we'll take her here in a heartbeat. We'll take her here in a heartbeat. But let's not ignore overall that our people, they started with black people. Kamala warned you. We warned you what would happen. So now that this stuff is happening now, everybody turns around to us and say, well, just know when they're done with them, they're coming to you. No, they started with black people. They started with us.
Yeah. Well, we still haven't gotten to how you stay encouraged, but I hear you. I know Dems like to hit people and then hide their hands. You know, especially those moderate and conservative Democrats who really are borderline Republicans. They should be over there with my infamous people who call themselves independents but are really just Republicans who are too embarrassed to admit that they're MAGA.
Yeah, Dominique, and don't get me wrong. I've been big on a proponent of it starts locally going federally, not federally going locally. We got to get back our school boards. We got to get back our district representatives. We have to do the civic duty locally. We have to do the education locally, because this guy is going to be in office, in my opinion, until he dies. He's not leaving.
So you really think he's going to stick in there until he kicks the bucket? He won't. Yeah, meaning he won't run for re-election. He'll just declare himself still the president, because I don't think he'd. Well, I guess if they're cheating, it doesn't matter if he could win or not.
They did this in Turkey. In Hungary, in Turkey, and we're watching something similar that's going on in Israel with Benjamin Netanyahu. There's other countries that have already done this in Russia, and he loves authoritarians.
Yeah, he does.
And why this?
I don't see how he would be mentally competent by 2028. He's hanging on by a thread right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that doesn't,
from a competency standpoint. I'm not talking about mental health, because he's had that the whole time for both terms, and that doesn't seem to impede him. But I'm talking about competency.
They will weaken at Bernie, this man. Remember, when you have a demigod, when you have a demigod, Dominique, it does not he does not make sense, anything he says, but those people are going to follow him. It's a cult, Dominique. It's a cult.
Yep. Well, yeah, you're right. Weekend to Bernie him, meaning they'll prop him up and have him walk around, pretend puppet master him, make sure he can be president even if he can't put together a sentence. His big B-Day, well, semi-big B-Day, he's turning 79 or 80? I think 79 this weekend on Saturday, and having a parade, which is going to cost us a whole bunch of money. Wasting money right and left. Man. But I personally don't think he's going to be president in 2028. I just don't think he's going to have the stamina. And I think we'd figure it out if they weekended Bernie'd him, as you put it. Paul, thanks for the call. 800-920-1580. Looking forward to keeping the conversation going with attorney Jai Person Lynn next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. San Jose, California's mayor is pushing a new policy allowing the arrest of homeless people who refuse shelter 3 times.